Hello! Sorry I didn't post a Doll's House diary entry last week. I have been away for a few days, so it's taken me a little bit longer to edit. Today's Doll's House diary video is a little bit different from previous weeks, because I've been helping my mum with her doll's houses. Many years ago, I made my mum a miniature greenhouse. And it was the first 12th scale miniature make that I'd ever made. And this is it. As you can see, over the years it has broken. Now, with better knowledge and better tools, I'd like to try to repair it for her. The plastic windows aren't fitting very well. And the door, as you can see, has fallen off. The wooden structure lifts away from the brick base, so I've decided that I'm going to take it home to work on its restoration. So I'd previously made a wooden bench to sit inside the greenhouse, and I decided to take that home too. And I thought I'd leave the bricks for now, and I'll work on them when I finish the wooden part of the greenhouse. So my mum would like her greenhouse to sit here, between her two dolls' houses. And I'm planning on making a new gravel area which everything can sit on, so the doll's house and the greenhouse as well. This doll's house also needs some structural repairs, but it's absolutely lovely inside. Here's a little look inside. Please let me know in the comments if you'd like a doll's house tour. She's made lots of the things inside it, and she's also collected a few bits as well. My mum's made some lovely miniatures for both of her dolls' houses, and she's the person that's inspired me to start making miniatures as well. So this is her second doll's house, and let me know in the comments if you'd like to see that one too. So this week I've also been helping my mum to organise her craft room. It's amazing. She has so many bits of fabric. So she's got a beautiful selection of fabrics, ribbons and other bits and bobs. Lots of things that are absolutely perfect for miniature makes. This is my favourite section, I think. I had a lovely time sorting the cotton into all of the different colours. How nice are the colours of the cotton in this box? So we packed up the items that I was going to take home to repair. And the next day, back home, before I started to work on the greenhouse, I decided to sort my collection of wood. As you can see, I've got quite a bit, but it's all different shapes and sizes. It was helpful to sort my pieces of wood into the different sizes and the different shapes, so that I could see what I had. I was planning on using some of the longer pieces of wood for this project, so I put them into piles depending on their width and the length. I decided to start working on the greenhouse and to leave the bench until later, so I haven't done anything on the bench in this video. I started by trying to remove the remaining door. I thought maybe if I could take that one off too, I could realign them and put them both back on together. But even though the greenhouse was broken, the remaining parts were actually really strong. So due to the fact that I couldn't remove the other door without damaging the greenhouse even more, I decided to make a new frame because I thought that it might be easier and more effective just to start again. I wasn't sure if I had enough lengths of wood though, but I thought I'd just make a start anyway. So I began by cutting the horizontal lengths of wood. I found that I only had enough pieces of wood to make the outside structure of the frame, so not the porch as well. I don't think, at this stage. I used my mitre shears to easily cut the balsa wood. And I also cut the vertical lengths of wood, but the pieces of wood that I used for the vertical lengths were slightly narrower. I was basically just using what I had. Initially, when I first made this greenhouse, I'd used wood which was much harder to cut, so I've really enjoyed using balsa wood recently. I glued these frames together using Yoo-hoo glue. Last time I made the greenhouse, I'd used a hot glue gun, and I felt like the Yoo-hoo glue worked more effectively, but I did also add some triangular corners just for some extra strength. So I only glued them onto the end pieces of the frame. And it would have been useful to have some right angle clamps to help to make sure that the frames dried in the correct positions, but I don't own any. So if anyone has any recommendations for good clamps to use for miniature woodworking, that would be really helpful, so please do leave your thoughts in the comments. I'd accidentally glued the frames to the cutting mat. So I just gently sort of prized them off, and when the glue had dried, it was time to paint the frames. I'd put a board underneath to protect my table because I wasn't sure where my painting sheet was, and this board will probably be the one that I will cover for the gravel base, so it doesn't matter if it gets paint on it. I used the same French sheet paint that I'd previously used to paint picture frames. And whilst the frames were drying, I again tried to remove this door. I was trying to be careful because I didn't want to break the hinge mechanism on the door. I tried to remove the whole porch area. It was really well glued. When the paint had dried, I placed some double-sided tape around the edges. This was to hold the plastic windows in place. I decided not to use glue because I thought that the tape might be a bit neater. So hopefully the tape will be strong enough to hold the plastic windows. We'll see. I was using thin A4 sized pieces of plastic that I'd trimmed to size, but they were very thin, so I needed some help to stick them into the correct positions. I was pleased with how the frame was looking so far. So the end panels were a little bit more difficult to glaze, so to put the plastic in, than this piece, because of the little corner pieces. So the wooden corner pieces meant that I had to cut corners out of the plastic before sticking it down into the right position. So next it was time to glue the frames together. And again, some corner clamps would have been really helpful. I used Yoo-hoo glue again and held the structure in place for a few seconds, just so that I knew that could hold itself without falling over. So the front panel needed to be a little bit different from the side panels, because I needed to leave a space in the middle because this was where the porch would be going. And then I glued the front panel in place once I'd painted the vertical new pieces of wood. So some corner clamps again would have been really helpful here to hold the structure at the correct angle, because as you can see it was kind of leaning to one side or the other. So this is how the frame was looking once it was all dry, and that's the old greenhouse in the background there. So I need to put the porch here, and I was wondering whether I could use the original porch rather than building a new one. So I took the original side panel from the porch to see what it would look like. Unfortunately, I seem to have measured incorrectly, and this panel was shorter than my new structure. So I definitely still wanted to use the original doors and their frame. And I managed to remove that second door by taking it away with the frame. So I made a new doorstep area to hold the doors in the correct position, in the correct place. And by this point it was the evening, so I knew that this would be my last job on the greenhouse for now. So I used my tiny handheld drill to put 2 small holes in the doorstep. The little pieces of dowel that you can see at the bottom of the doors will sit inside these holes. And this will create the hinge mechanism so that the doors can open and shut. I think this was my first time using my little pin vise drill. I loved it. It worked really well. My last job was to check that everything would fit together correctly. Apologies for the mistake in the subtitles there, there's an extra word. Then it would be time to pack away for the evening. In next week's video, I will continue working on this greenhouse. So I've put this video into a new playlist, so please feel free to subscribe and follow the playlist if you'd like to see the progress of this new miniature greenhouse. And once I've finished the greenhouse, I would like to make a base with miniature gravel and plants, and I'm sure my mum will add lots of her own things as well. So I'll still be working on my own doll's house too, but I thought it'd be nice to work on 2 projects at the same time. So thank you so much for watching. Please do let me know in the comments if you've enjoyed the video, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!